Good morning, Chavra. Today is the 9th of Iyar, and we will begin our daily Tanya class with the counting of the Omer. Today is the 24th day on page 138. Let's say together, Hayoim, Arba'a, Be'esrim, Yoim, Shehem, Shloisha Shavuos, Ushloisha Yomim LaOmer. Today is 24 days, which is 3 weeks and 3 days of the Omer. You're on page 82 in the Chayenu. And we're starting a new chapter, Perek Mavav, chapter 46. The next method of achieving love of Hashem, Alter Rebbe says, is attainable by all, even a person who has a heart of stone. In this principle of mirroring love, one cannot help but respond to an outpouring of love with rebounding love. Imagine the scene of a king choosing to spend time with a lowlife, inviting him into the palace and sharing an intimate moment with him. However, if you're sitting in shul near somebody and the guy's always so nice and friendly to you, it's very hard to be rude and mean to him, even if you're in a bad mood. And likewise, if you're very friendly with someone else, usually that person will warm up to you. So in today's lesson, like a reflection in water, so too does a love toward a fellow elicit his friend's love back to him. Perek Memvav, chapter 46, on page 82 in the Chayenu. In the previous chapter, the Alter Rebbe described another manner in which a person can perform Torah mitzvahs with his heart, with the love and the fear of Hashem, and that by utilizing the attribute of Yaakov, the quality of mercy of Rahmanis on your neshama, and that's a way to elicit love for Hashem. There's another way, simple and straightforward, that's equally applicable and suitable for every single person. And the Baal Tanya says, this matter is very, very close. He uses a double ma'oid to tell you, mamish, we could do this. It's easy. It's uncomplicated. To arouse and kindle the light of love that's implanted and concealed in his heart. This love is already found in the heart of every single Jew in a concealed state. All you have to do is bring it out. That it may shine forth with its intense light like a flaming fire in the consciousness of the heart and mind. And ultimately enabling the person, if he has to, God forbid, surrender his soul to Hashem, together with his body and material possessions, this being done with all his heart and all his soul and all his might. As we say in the Shema, we should love Hashem with all our heart, soul, and might, with boundless devotion, of his soul's essence. From the depths of his heart in absolute truth. And especially during the recitation of Shema and the blessings before, as will be explained. And so what's this technique? Person should take to heart the meaning of this pasuk. As water mirrors the face to the face, so does the heart of man to man. Perush, the explanation is Kamoi Shekidmus. This means that, as in the case of the likeness, when a person sees his reflection in the water, that he sees his face, the identical face is reflected back to him from the water. So that image mirrors not only the person's external features, but also the nuances of facial expression that signifies joy, sorrow, etc. You know what? You could see your mood when you're looking into the water. So not only do you see the face, but the face reveals what the person's feeling. So if you're looking in a mirror, you can tell if you're in a good mood or not. If you have a smile on your face, you know you're in a good mood. By the way, Steve, just in case you're wondering if you're in a good mood, just look in the mirror, you'll figure it out there. If you're in a bad mood, you'll see your face is upset, right? Yeah, exactly. If you see tears, you'll know you're sad. But if you see a smile and a happiness, you'll know. Kachamamish, leva adam anemon, so indeed is also the heart of man who is loyal in his affection for another person. This love which he has for the other person awakens a loving response for the other person to him in the heart of his friend. Also, so that they can come to love each other loyally. So even the love harbored in one's heart arouses a reflective love in the other. Especially when he sees his friend's love for him freely revealed. Such is the common nature in the character of every man, even when they are equal in status. Alachas kama v'kama im melech godav v'rav mare ahavosoi hagdoyle v'atzum ish hedyoit v'nivze v'shval anoshim hamenuval hamutol ba'ashpa. How much more so? So now the Alter is bringing an example. What about in the case of a great and mighty king who rules over many lands, and he displays great and intense love for a commoner who's despised and lowly among men, a disgraceful creature cast on the dunghill? Here's an oisvarf, a guy who's, just a homeless bum. And here let's point out specifically that it's not a person who Nebuch, couldn't find work and lost his home because he's just a lazy, good for nothing. The king, the king depicted here rules not only over one land, but many lands. His love for the person is not only harbored in his heart, but is manifest. The manner of love is not ordinary, but it's great and intense, and the love is shown not to an ordinary person, but a truly despicable character. A guy who does, unsavory things. The Alter Rebbe goes on to state how his love is displayed. And what does the king do? They love, im kol sarav yachdav. He goes down from his palace together with his entourage. Umekimai, umerimai, bashbasai, umachnisai lehecholoi hechal hamelech cheder lifni mecheder makom she'en kol eved v'sar nichnos hasham. He takes him out of this pile of garbage, and he brings him into his palace. And in the palace itself, he leads them through chamber after chamber to the innermost chamber, where most ordinary servants don't go. Even the great, governors and whatever else, whatever other titles, the higher ups in the king's palace have. So they don't go in there unless the king specifically welcomes them or invites them. And there the king, it's like it's an impossible scene, because the king takes this guy who's not only dirty and smelly, but he's a rude individual, and he brings him from the garbage pile into his inner chambers, and he hugs him and he kisses him, and he shows so much compassion and affection and love for him. Alachas kama v'kama shetis oider memela hava kfula mechopeles belev hedyet shval anoshim hazeh el nefesh hamelech iskashos hanefesh mamish belev hanefesh b'umpadli b'lein kates. How much more so? Of course, no matter what, even if I was a higher up in the king's world, and he hugged me and he took me inside his chamber, I would feel great. But now, imagine it's not just a commoner, but it's this lowlife. And how much more so would there be aroused of itself a double and redoubled love in the heart of this common and humble individual for the person of the king, with a true attachment of spirit from the heart and soul, from the infinite depths of his heart. And even if the person had a hard heart, didn't have friends, didn't know how to love people, didn't even know how to smile. Even if he had a heart of stone and he wasn't roused to tender loving feelings for somebody else, in such a situation, a person like this would melt and become like water, and his soul would pour itself out like water with soulful longing for the love of the king. That's the mashal. What's the takeaway? Like water reflects an image, a person reflects back what is projected on them. So this is true between people and also between, like, the story of the king. So imagine if it's Hashem, you know what's going on inside your head. You know what you did and what you said and how you acted. Hashem chose you to love you. So two ways. Number one, all you have to do is smile back because Hashem is smiling to you and loving you and embracing you and bringing you to his inner chambers. But the opposite could also be performed or done or felt by you loving Hashem. All you have to do is love him from the depths of your heart, and Hashem will return that love. Okay, Chavra, have a wonderful day.